I want to thank you again, dog. All right, bro. You know that shit, bro. This reciprocate energy here, bro. This is the best show with the best content for the best listeners. Boom. Blow your fucking mind. Testicles 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your humble host, not your homo host, your humble host. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space and for tuning the fuck in. That is right. We have a bonus episode with one of my long-lost friends. This motherfucker got lost in the wilderness searching for that fucking 7-foot alien creature, big-footed, hairy motherfucker with the face of a wolf and a mask and a slingshot, fucking murder, whatever the fuck it was. He didn't explain to me exactly, so he's back for a second dose of greatness. But right before that, ladies and gentlemen, ParanoidRadio.com is completely shut down. Don't ask me how. I'm not going to give you the whole fucking runaround. It's pathetic. It's bullshit. It's neglect from my part at the same time. And quite frankly, I kind of fucked up. I'm posting videos on Instagram. We're getting dinged back and forth. So the only thing I could tell you right now, if you want to tune in, you could tune in on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify, Amazon Music, and any other podcast platform worldwide, anywhere except for iHeartRadio, anywhere else. And you could also follow us on our backup account, Paranoid_radio on Instagram. Paranoid_radio on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment where I really define what the fuck's going to happen with these hubs and social media sites that I use to promote my platform. Unfortunately, we have to play this fucking game in their agenda, in their calendar, in their time sequence, and during the fucking bullshit-ass political spheres that we're going through. And this is not a political conversation. However, I want you to know that it is extremely important. I'm not begging you here. This is a commandment. It's in the fucking Bible. I need you guys to please share word of mouth and drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and make sure you stay following us on Instagram. Now, I got that promotion value out of the way. This episode is brought to you by Los Cuñados Bullies. Get your rhinos and gorillas through Los Cuñados Bullies today. I don't know what that means, but it gets the people going. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to please give a golden introduction, a heart warmth, and a fucking grand applause to one of my colleagues. And now I see him as a dude that's very spiritual and has a lot of information, a wealth of information that I could leech off right now. I need that goat stuff, bro. Please give a warm welcome to Shawn, the host of the GRIMM2 podcast, the big GRIMM2 podcast. What's up, big dog?
That's right. No homo, man. No homo.
I had one of my boys at work. He was like, hey, bro, you talk so fast, dude. I always say you're homo host. I was like, you know what, you fucking dick? I'm going to change that around. I'm going to make it into a marketing scheme. Not your homo host, your humble host. So fuck exactly, that guy. Gustavo, this goes out to you, Gus Bus.
Gustavo.
Yeah, his name was Gustav. Fucking dude. Yeah, dude. How's it going, bro? Thank you for coming back on the show, bro.
Dude, I'm excited to be back here for part 2, man.
Wow.
Ready to do the thing.
Hell yeah, dude. Where can people find you, dog?
Dude, the Big GRIMM2 podcast. You can find me at all the podcasting places, all the social medias, all the things. There's a link tree that you guys can click. You can find me at. You can hit me up. All the stuff. It's out there.
That's
We're doing it. We're having fun.
That's right. I'm dropping this episode in portions on Instagram, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, because that's the only place I could feature videos right now. I used to do it on ParanoidRadio.com. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check him out, the Big GRIMM2 podcast. You can find him on Instagram, find his link tree. And if you can't find it on Instagram for any odd reason, you can also find him on the description of this fucking episode. That is right. What are you up to right now, dog? The last time you were here, you came at me with some ghostly adventures in a fucking room. You said you fucked a ghost that came out of a stereo, some shit like that. And then you said you went on a mission with your boys in a fucking pickup truck, manifesting Bigfoot. And this was huge. I fucking got into this shit. It was wild. I was like just daydreaming. I visualized that shit. Dog, pick up where you left off, dude. What are you working on right now with your show? Again, congratulations on the new baby that you're having. I don't know how you have the time to manage, control your life with a full-time job and a whole damn family to deal with. And then again, obviously, I want to thank you for being here. What's up, big dog? What's your next story, dog?
Dude,
what you got to tell?
Dude, absolutely. Here in a couple days. She'll be here in a couple days. So, but yeah, I got a good one. So we kind of were sitting here talking, and we wanted to kind of, tie some things in together. So the people out here listening could be like, okay, well, maybe I'm kind of experiencing some things going on, and they're just a little bit weird, and they can't really figure it out. But you want to
Uh,
try to break some curses, breaking generational curses, all these different things.
uh,
So I just want to say, first things first, like positivity. If you're a positive person, you're not going to have negative stuff that's going to be attaching to you. It's not going to be coming home with you. So we had this investigation that we went on, and it was like at this horse ranch.
mm,
And this lady kind of she trains horses and whatnot. People come from all over and stuff. Well, this place is sitting on like some Native American land. And what's super crazy is like we get there and the lady's like, oh man, it's just in time, just in time. And we're just like, what? And she's like, for the war drums. And we're like, wait, what's this lady talking about? War drums.
mm.
And then so we step out and we all get quiet. We're listening. And you can hear off in the tree line just these thuds, just
What
like a
was this
bass
again?
drum.
Where was this
It
again?
is, so this is in Indiana,
Okay. Mhm.
and it's in the county south of where I am, somewhere out in Grant County. I'm not really too sure what the lady's name is or anything,
Uh, uh,
because that was this is probably over 10 years ago when this all happened and everything. So
mm,
we hearing this and we're like, yeah, that's wild. And then she's like, yeah, we've actually found mounds down there, and we think that they're old burial mounds, and that this is like some crazy, stuff that we have going out here all the time. On top of that, like they were seeing stuff like walking around their property, like they would see it throughout their windows,
mm.
and they're just like, man, it looks like somebody's walking around, somebody's walking around. And then like it kind of progressed further to where they started having stuff happening inside their home. And so that's when we came in, and I didn't I wasn't there for the investigation inside the house.
Mhm.
We did that before I had joined. So here I come in for part two,
Mhm.
and now we're doing the whole outside of the property and everything, because like not only that, but they're seeing a apparition of a younger girl that they believed was a 14-year-old Native American girl who was raped and murdered out
Mhm.
in this area, and they believe that her body was actually buried somewhere on that land, and they just don't
Oh.
know, where. But several mediums say it's under a tree, it's under a tree out in this general area, it's one of these areas. So we went, had a crazy investigation. We got a whole bunch of stuff on EVP. I
Mhm.
was getting, within like the first 5 minutes of like hitting that record button,
Mm.
I have no idea until I go back and listen later on. But I catch not once, but twice this same voice saying,
Mhm.
I want, and then one of our fellow investigators' names. Straight up says this girl's name out loud. I want, and then her name. And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just find?
This is
And I'm
an audio recording out of the investigation that
Yes,
you were. Okay. Okay.
yes. So this is like the next day I'm going through the evidence. And that's when I find that, because we're just setting up. Like we're sitting here talking amongst ourselves, shooting the shit, laughing, joking.
Mhm.
And this is clear as day. And it's none of us. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, whoa, I totally found something. This is wild. This is wild. So like back to the investigation. We're on the investigation.
Pause, bro.
Okay.
Something's happening outside. Hold up.
Okay.
Hold up. Hold up. We on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, big dog. Go. Neighbors were knocking
It's
on the
all good.
windows. I'm out in the kitchen right now. All right, big dog, hit it.
Okay. So we're in the investigation, everything, and we're up in this kind of like loft area,
Mhm.
and we actually hear out loud with our own ears a girl going, "Hey!" And me and two other guys, we completely turned around, and the other two see a girl in a what appeared to be like a white like nightgown kind of thing fly through this room that we were just at the edge of and go out the other door. So they take off running,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't get to see it. I could only hear what we all heard.
Uh-huh.
So they take off running and they go out that other door and completely just stop. And I'm like, I get up to where they are, and they're just like, "Dude, what the fuck was that?" And we're looking around, and we're on the edge of like the horse arena. So
Mhm.
like the indoor like big horse arena where they can sit there and be trained inside of there when it's the weather's not good.
Uh-huh.
And there's nobody down in there. It's completely empty. And like they would have had to like if this person would have had to run down an entire flight of wooden steps
Uh-huh.
to be able to get up there because we're essentially on a second level. That's how high up we are in this loft thing.
Uh-huh.
And it was completely wild. So like I said, we had this investigation, everything, and I kind of had an idea just from us talking amongst the group that this lady's I don't it wasn't like maybe like just like a boyfriend or something like that. Dude was a real negative person, and he was not like a happy person at
Uh,
all.
uh-huh.
So he had some sort of job where he was going out and he was leaving and he was going all over Indiana.
Uh-huh.
Well, his negativeness, like the way that he was causing energy and different things to come and attach to him. And then he comes home with that stuff, still spewing his negative energy. So now he's sitting here releasing this stuff back at home. And it's now causing all this stuff to start manifesting and all this crazy stuff happening to where they're seeing stuff walking around their house and whatnot. They're having weird knocks and bangs and things like opening and closing inside their house, like poltergeist activity, and they couldn't figure out why. And like
Okay.
that right there, like
Okay,
that's the
so
point.
I have to interrupt here. So there's many factions, many elements here. One of them, the drums were coming from the same investigation you guys were conducting, right? The
Yep,
drums, and that was allegedly native. This is because it was on a native gravesite.
yep,
Okay, then you guys know that there was also an underage native girl raped and killed in that same location,
yep.
buried under a fucking tree in one of the certain areas. You guys witnessed this girl manifesting herself, going through shit and walking around. You guys saw this in one of the recordings. I'm trying to follow up, put it all together here. One of the recordings said she wanted, was it her or was it a male voice that you heard?
It kind of sounded more like maybe it was male.
Okay.
It didn't
Okay.
sound like it didn't sound very female. It was very similar. It was and then the girl's name.
Yeah.
So that's what was really weird. But also during that same time frame, I was getting the word help constantly too. And I
Ah.
mean that was just as clear as the sentence was.
So this particular
And
area is in a combination of people that were mutilated, probably victimized in this area, murdered in this area, also crossing sacred ground sites like cemeteries for the natives, they
yep,
built on it. And then on top of, to fuck it up even worse, you have this fucking guy with a negative mindset, energy hovering about him, that he's not only going out in the world probably doing dangerous shit, hurting people, hurting his wife by cheating, etc. Whatever the fucking bad cause might be, coming home and then spewing out all the negative energy he collected throughout his fucking detours, right? Throughout his little adventures.
yeah,
Holy fuck. So
absolutely.
this is building up to be a perfect paranormal activated zone. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, we had to have some people that come out there and clear places and clear the energy, clear the spirits, help things pass through that need to pass
Mhm.
through. We had all several people come out there to do some serious work on this location just in order to for them to get things to stop. On top
What
of
are
that, you know,
uh-huh.
we even went out like ourselves and like we did our own like offerings, you know, to the Native Americans and stuff. And I can't remember if we like lit like sage and like has like some bird feathers and different things and stuff, and just kind of left things as a token to the spirits that are there. And I mean, even if you're just going into a graveyard, because like I still even now will go to haunted locations, and sometimes their graveyards are really highly active and whatnot. But
Mhm.
like if you're going in there just for the sake of entertainment purposes, you might have something that comes back with you. You're probably going to have some weird encounters. But like if you come in and you're respectful and you leave offerings, so like if you ever go into a graveyard and like you see on top of the
Damn.
headstone, you like
Damn.
coins or strange objects sitting on the headstone, it's because somebody else that understands this came in and they're leaving things as offerings for the spirits that are living there.
The education and respect towards that other dimension is highly important. And it's not only practiced as when you're passing through that area, asking for permission, and then giving gratitude and then walking out as fast as possible with all due respect, but it also is done and practiced during ceremonials that are taken in the course of lives of natives. For example, my ex, Moscalero Apache, and then she would take me. I spent 7 years of my life with her. Great person, beautiful soul. And we broke up amicably, you could say. We went out and she took me to an area where I was exposed to some sweat lodges. And this could get very
Okay.
fucking spiritual and heavy. So it got to a point where they did a forthcoming of a man ceremony twice for me. One with 17 stones, 17 rounds, and the last one was 33 stones and 33 rounds, 2 different dates. And in each one, there was spiritual ascending, there was a lot of trauma released on towards the land. And the only key, and this is how I know that these hauntings on these lands is real. The moment you figure out how to release the trauma that you're going through, as you become a man during these sweat lodges, and I'm talking about heavy duty chanting, and like you can't breathe, and the only way to stay cool, this is one of the secrets that they told me, and it's really intense. They told me, be one with the earth, and I didn't know what the fuck they meant. I was 20 stones in this bitch already. And when I'm talking about 20 stones, is they pour a pit, they put a tent leathered up, they put one ring of men around the pit. The pit's right here, right? And they put one ring of men around it. Then they put a second ring and then a third ring of men. So it's 3 rings of men, all chanting, all energizing that one point of the earth in a pit. And they put lava stones that have been heated to the top throughout their core, heated as fuck. And they drop them in there. And then Bear Claw, was the chief in charge of getting us through this ritual. He would close it up, gap it up. He'll give drums to certain people. Only certain people have the drums. And then he'll start chanting. He'll start throwing water on the freaking rocks. And that should start steaming up like a heavy sauna, dog. And dude, the hardest part is once you get to the 25th, 27th, 20, the hardest ones, because they start getting intensified. He starts with little rocks and then starts intensifying and intensifying and intensifying. He brings in these boulders, bro. He opens up only for 20 seconds. It takes 20 seconds, opens this up, gets the new rock. There's a set of natives outside cooking them for you. Bring the next stone, boom, drop it, closes the thing and starts chanting again. And I'm talking about, yeah. Like you could feel the beat. It's just boom. And then it gets to a point that if you live in your head, your anxiety won't get released. You start getting all the panic attack. You'll fucking start getting to a point that you don't know how to act. You don't know how to breathe. You don't know how to control your heart rate. You don't know, you think your senses are going wild. It's so intense, bro. And then you start hearing people murmur behind you. You're like, nobody's behind me. Like, what the fuck, dude? But those are the same spirits haunting you, your traumas, your previous generations. And then I'm getting chills telling you the story. And then one of the dudes tells me, one of the caretakers there, he was like, be one. He goes, I'm gonna give you a tip. He goes, you're gonna make it through. Be one with the earth. And I was like, the fuck does that mean? He goes, touch the earth. And I couldn't, because there's caps. They set the floor up in caps of leathered skin, a cow skin, a pig skin, or whatever it is. No, it's cow skins, because they don't eat swine. and on the floor, and it's layered up in a way that you could put your hands in through those slits and touch the ground with your hands, like the fucking dirt. Dog, I went like this to my hands. I put it through the slits because you're sitting down like an Indian, right? You're sitting down with your fucking legs like this, and you're just huddled like this, and they're like, oh, no, 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 oh, no, singing so fucking passionate. You put your hands in that slit, dog, and you feel the cold ground, and the arteries in your hand start getting cold, and you start feeling the fresh blood from your hands going up to your neck, up to your body, starts receiving all this cold breeze of blood into your head. And then you start feeling the rhythm, and you start like, dun, 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 and you're like, oh my God. And you just start swaying. That ecstasy just boom starts taking over your skin. And then that's when he came in. He hands me out a little drum. He goes, you're ready. He throws the drum, and I'm like banging the shit out of the drum. Dude, I became an Indian that moment, dog. I was a fucking native. I was passionately involved in that, and I made it to 33. We got out. And I was one of like the middle ones to leave out. And as soon as you come out, they throw another leather thing on you and they cover you so that your body's not cold. It's in the middle of the fucking desert. The stars are fucking twinkling, and you just became a man. And they're like, yo, you're ready to hunt. And your next coming of a man, you got to kill a fucking animal. I'm like, God, how fuck? What the fuck do you mean? I'm fucking mountain lion? But yeah.
Right.
Now, the reason I told you this story is because the hunting, while I was in there, I heard voices. My fears came alive. I felt like somebody was watching me, like they were gonna get me. They're like, fool, like, have you ever been on a come down of drugs? Like that, worse. Like in a fucking nasty come down. Like if you're being detoxified, what it is they're taking your traumas, your negative energy, all that bad juju, all that mental stress, all that fucking chemicals that you had in your body, everything's coming out of your pore, bro. And out of your core at the same time. So when you tell me that place was haunted, I can relate, because we live haunted daily by influences, by music, by everything you watch. So it's really heavy to like, it's not only, you need to entertain the idea that this could attach to you. They could leave you, but they could also attach you. You can bring them home. And the people that are going to suffer through are going to be your family members. Yeah. Sorry for the long little spur. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's just kind of like one of the same thing with like, you know, when you go somewhere and they tell you like, don't take anything back home. And then like some jackass decides, oh, well, it's okay if I just take this rock. It's just a rock. What's this rock going to do? And then all of a sudden they get home, and then all of a sudden it might just start off as, they might hear a little weird thing here or there, but then all of a sudden it starts striking things real bad to where they're financially becoming completely unstable. Their relationships, their interrelationships are completely just falling apart. They're, the husband and wife start fighting against each other, all because, they took something from an area that they weren't supposed to take something from.
So intent has a lot to do with this, right?
Dude,
with
intent
energy.
has to do with everything, dude. Intent is everything. It's just like kind of like one of those things. It's like, could something have a good like a good side and a bad side? Like to take like a Ouija board. If you were to use that with like a good intent and you weren't trying to bring something negative into it, you could probably be able to do so. But at the same time, if you do not have that positive intent of you're wanting to use this for good reasons, and instead you're trying to do something else, you're just trying to get spooked, this and that, okay, you're now opening this up for the negative to come in, and that's where it is. It's always with that intent, bro, always.
Holy fuck. And the thing that triggered that story for me to bleed it out like that was the thing that you said about the offering. Before the ritual, they would come and you needed to offer tobacco and other little offerings to the sun god and their totem poles and all these things that they have ready for you. And then you have to do enchantments and singing, and it's all ritual. It's all ritual, bro. It's all for the spirits to be welcoming and allow you to pass through, allow you to gain their knowledge, and allow you to leave. So this is, you have to understand that the paranormal activity, I'm not sensitive to it, but I have a lot of respect for it because I know it's real and I've lived through that shit in a positive manner, thank God. that I didn't have to worry about anything bad sticking to me, but nothing but positivity came after that. I was a veil was lifted, and I was able to think straighter, differently. I let go of addictions that were holding me back. I was extremely addicted to Norcos back then, and dude, I mean, fuck, dog. The sky was the limit when it came to drugs and party. So
Right.
it's really, that even that habits and addiction is also somewhat spiritual negativity attached to you, because you continue to indulge in negative shit. And I myself, quite frankly, I'm not perfect, dog. I'm not. Everybody has a fall through, everybody has a fallout, but it's also, you have to do it with intent. Even that, you don't have respect for those powers that you're fucking around with, you're gonna fucking crash. You're gonna be on a spiraling course to destruction. You know what I mean? So yeah, brother. Now, what are some of the steps that you would take? For example, big dog, things that people, let's say one of our listeners right now is going through experiencing some weird paranormal activity stuff, and they don't know where it's coming from. What's the first thing you do? How do you troubleshoot? And then how do you find a solution for make it stop?
So first of all, if you haven't gone anywhere that you haven't, there's you can take that out of the list of what could be factoring. If you haven't gone anywhere and it doesn't make any sense why you're kind of having some activity, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna cancel that out. Not gonna
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna be it.
Okay.
If you haven't taken anything or came into new possession of something that is clearly old, maybe you just went to an antique store and you just so happened to see something, you're like, oh, that looks cool, and you get it, but unfortunately it's has something attached to it for whatever reason. If
Mm-hmm.
that is also, if that also doesn't apply, then your next thing is, okay, well, maybe this has to do with something that is just here in general. It showed up because that can be the case. I hate to say it, but no matter where we are in this world, there is going to be something that is no longer with us, that is currently by either in the room, in the home, outside. It doesn't matter. It's everywhere at all times. It's nothing we can do about it. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're kind of thinking that, okay, I can't be around this, because a lot of people, it freaks them out. Okay, like people can't handle their closet door opening for no reason, this and that. Or I'm somebody that I'm just like, oh, okay, that just happened. What else? I'm just gonna go about my day. It's not gonna freak me out. Where some people are like, oh, I need to move. I need to move out of here. I need to get down the road. I can't be here anymore. I get it. It freaks people out.
Does
So
fear add on to the manifestation of these things? Does that bring it out
I
more? Does that anger them, or make them joyful to the point they're gonna keep doing it if
I
it is
think
paranormally activated?
negative negative energy. I have noticed that yeah, people who are very fearful and do not want to be there, it amplifies for whatever reason. And then also, when somebody who comes in who doesn't have fear of the place, it will try to also amplify again
Almost like
when
disrespectfully.
it when it realizes that it's not going to get the reaction that it's wanting to. And always, making those kinds of offerings. If you have sage, burn some sage. If you have some Palo Santo, burn some Palo. If you, whatever it is, if you have, holy water, if you're Christian, because like my mom is Catholic, and
Mm,
they like to have a lot of, bottles of actual holy water that they've gotten from the church that they keep around the house and stuff. And
mm,
you could do the
mm.
same kind of thing. Go around your house, do little, spritzing here and there. And if you're basing out of Christianity, then pray out loud. A lot of people are
Yeah.
just like,
Verbalize it.
you have to be okay with the fact that you could be sitting in a room all completely by yourself and you are talking out loud to essentially yourself. But at the same time, for whatever reason, you'll notice things change when you are actually vocal about what's going on and what your intent is. If you are
Thank
having
you.
activity in your house and you're like, I don't want you here, this is not your home, you do not live here. You are not welcome here. You cannot be in my space. You need to vacate and you need to leave. If you can stand firm in your convictions in that kind of way, then there is no reason that when you do that, you're creating that energy right there, that you are manifesting that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a gigantic bubble
Force
that then
field.
pushes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly, a force field that then pushes everything out of the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's literally all it takes for most people. And it's not unless there's like some sort of really strong thing going on that you need to end up having more than that. I mean, it happens. There are those cases where there's some crazy ass shit that's going on, and like you need about 7 priests, 5 bottles of Fireball, and everything else to get through the day. But I mean, it just
Mhm.
it is what it is. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Controlling, and I'm very high. I am very, 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 I scream about this every single moment I can. Vibrational frequency, sorry for the tongue twister there. Vibrational frequencies are a real medicine, are the most powerful thing that you could create and have and wield and have power over. And it's something that you see manipulated throughout everything you consume. Everything is vibrating, everything is resonating, everything is moving. Everybody, it's proven fact that the smallest molecules that put a table together are not solid. They're moving constantly, vibrating in frequencies and emotions that you can never comprehend at every fucking moment. So the moment you start really putting that into action, combined with your intent, combined with grit, and your mental focus is there, and you know what you want, you could be untouchable. We are creators, dog. God gave us this talent. We are him, he's in us. This is 100% truth. And what you just said also, it works like a testimony, as a testimony. I know for a fact, this is why when you go to church, this is why when they do exorcisms, they don't do it just with holy water. They do it with the preaching. They do it with screaming at this evil entity to, like you said, vacate the premises, vacate the host, get the fuck out, etc. In the name
Yep.
of Jesus Christ, in the name of the blood, and that he shed, in the name of the most holiest fucking relics in the world. And they use these powerful terms, powerful words, scripture, even to be able to a spiritual map the area. I just had Dr. Laura Sanger on last year, about 2 months ago, and she came and she gave me an episode on spiritual mapping where a congregation would go to different areas of the city or a new place where they're going to congregate, and they start mapping out the areas of the city, which is the more troublesome areas, what streets need the most, where's the more prostitution, the most drug sales, the most gangbangers, and then the troubled areas, and they'll have a map of red points where they're more the most spiritual mapping would be, the most hard points where they could echo out God's name, scream it, and push negative entities out. And that's what Satan does. That's what the enemy does. Quite frankly, that's what a lot of things. This is, if you believe that there's a spiritual realm for the good, you have to believe that there's a spiritual realm for the evil as well. It goes both ways. It's just where your intent's at and how you manifest this shit. Manifesting greatness, one episode at a time. Yeah,
That's
big
right,
dog.
dude. As above, so below. You can't have one without the other. I mean, it's what we call balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. And it's intriguing, bro. It's intriguing what you're doing on your show and your past life with the ghostly adventures. I love that shit, bro. I love that shit, and I want to make this public. I wish you could come back next time again on episode 3 of the Grimbowski Part 3, and you could give me another section of another great
Oh yeah.
finding you have, because you've seen Bigfoot. Your friends seen Bigfoot. You almost got killed by a 7-foot Bigfoot. That's your shit. I visualized that shit, dude. I was like, damn, that was a fucking hell of a story. I myself saw an owl, and these things exist. Talking about owl, let me ask you something. Do you think, you said that they're here and they're always here? Do you think it's this dimension? What is it? What is it that the ghosts come from? What are they? How do they come to our visual spectrum that we could see them?
I think that we honestly don't really truly understand how we're able to visually see them, because a lot of times in order for us to see them, we have to be looking through a type of light that our eyes can't see. And full spectrum, UV. We have to be looking through these different spectrums of
Yeah.
light to be able to see these kinds of anomalies. So then it makes no sense when someone like me wakes up in the middle of the night when I'm 16 years old and there's a full body apparition standing at the foot of my bed. It's just like, why am I seeing this without having the assistance of something else? And I don't know if it has something to do with how they're able to manipulate the energy that is just everywhere and it's all around us. Because I mean, we can take this shit back to high school, bro. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred between one
Damn.
thing and another. So it's all there. And
Dog.
even when we
Yeah.
die, all of a sudden 12 ounces, we lose 12 ounces at the moment of death, weight wise.
Wait, you just opened up another can of Grimbowski worms, though. Wait, hold the fuck up. Wait, time out. 12 ounces when you die?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the number. I'm pretty sure it's 12. And yeah, after the moment of death, if you were to weigh somebody before they died and then go
Hmm.
and weigh them right after death, there is I'm pretty sure 12-ounce difference that it has gone down. And a lot of people believe that 12 ounces or whatever is the soul, the energy or whatever leaving the body.
I do know that hot and cold stuff weigh differently. So
Right.
the temperature in a room can really dictate how heavy matter is, right? Now, having
Right.
said that, I also know that heat and cold both are energies. As a matter of fact, if you put a boiling bowl of water in the freezer, it'll freeze faster than room temperature water. Put it to the test because the heat length of that energy is closer to freezing point, and freezing point also burns. They connect at that certain point. Boiling water freezes faster than room temperature water. Now,
Okay.
why am I saying this energy stuff? Because the transformation from electric pulses, because your heart's like a battery, the moment you die, you stop producing electrical frequency and you become plasma energy, a different light dimension. That's when you ascend and become a spirit. That's fucking good, bro. I didn't know that. You just opened up a can of Grimbowski worms, bro. Let's go fishing, dog. The
Might
big
catch a
grim
big fish.
the big Grimbowski podcast. Make sure you check them out. Shawn, let them out. Where can they find you, dog?
Use Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm getting it plugged in for Apple Podcasts. I'm having issues right now, but we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. But
You
all
have an
the other
iPhone?
podcasting place, yes, I do. I'm
Okay.
having issues with the Apple Connect. It has to do with like my email addresses and like it's a whole thing.
I'm pretty sure you could put your RSS feed in that same thing, Apple Connect. I'll send you the link right now. I'm show you what I was doing earlier for the show. Yo, everybody, make sure you check out the big Grimbowski Shawn I keep saying great. It is great. The great big Grimbowski podcast. Make sure you check them out on all fucking podcast platforms. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Shawn, you're welcome here. I want you to send me some dates again when you're ready again. And I want to congratulate you and your family for an amazing new blessing coming on your way. Stay healthy, dog. Stay strong. Live at the best of your abilities and always have that good intent. You're a great person, beautiful soul, and I have a wealth of information and I need you back on the show soon. The Big Grimbowski
Absolutely.
podcast, fellas. That's right. Thank you so much, kids. Oh, yeah, stop recording. Nah.